Hey folks, how's it going? It's Brian Blessing in Las Vegas. Glad to be with you here at bangthebook.com. Follow me on Twitter at Brian Blessing and listen to that sports betting podcast. Adam Burke, our good friend, does such a great job. Hey, we're focused on NASCAR, and this is one of my two favorite events of the year. The other one is the fall race at Talladega. It's amazing. The GEICO 500, Talladega Superspeedway, and the big one, the big accident is always out there. But this is the race where you really can go price hunting. Crazy things happen in restrictor plate racing. One or two big accidents. I mean, there have been times with Talladega, by the time you get to the last three laps, there are only 8-9 cars left, and you can find prices. Now, understandably, Logano and Keselowski are favorites at 8-1. Team Penske's won 6 of the last 9 races at Talladega. The new Aero package could set it up for more passing, but the bottom line is this is a race where you're really betting on the driver who can get in position and then be aggressive enough and time the move at the end of the race beautifully. You know, Kevin Harvick's had good fortune here in terms of leading a lot of laps. Kurt Busch is another guy. He led 108 laps last year, but those guys ran out of gas. So the pit strategy is obviously important here, but the one thing is with only 188 laps, if you make a mistake, if you speed on pit row, if you've got a loose tire and you get a penalty, it's going to be harder to recover. So you got to be really diligent and do a good job and be careful and effective when you're in the pits. Ryan Blaney's another guy. He's really consistent. Can he kick the door down? Knows how to be up front of the pack here and lead a lot of laps. Being up front really doesn't matter. There'll be guys that are going to have a strategy just to be at the back of the pack, knowing that the big accident's going to come, and they just want to try to stay out of harm's way. But then you're surrounded by guys that don't have great cars, and goofy things can happen. It's a 2.6-mile track. They're running wide open the entire race. Eric Almirola won the final race last fall. He's an interesting price play opportunity. I'm a big fan of Kurt Busch in terms of his aggressive nature at 18-1. We know Kyle Busch is a crazy man, and he can pass on short tracks. With the restrictor plate racing, he'll be very dangerous. But again, the disaster that's looming out there for everybody, you know, taking one of those chalk plays is kind of dicey. So I think Kurt Busch is a guy that knows how to time the move at the end of the race. And in a goofball race like this, where something crazy can happen, I'll throw a couple of price plays at you. You know, Kyle Larson's just not been very effective this year, but this is the kind of race where the pack is kind of evened up by the restrictor plate racing aspect of it and the driving aspect of it. But another guy at a big price is Austin Dillon at 40-1. This is the kind of race where an Austin Dillon who hangs around and knows how to hang around, but many times just doesn't have a car that's good enough. But in this instance, if you're sitting in that second or third row with 2 or 3 laps to go and you time the move right, you can get to the front. And it's simply drafting that will help accomplish that goal. And it gives you an opportunity to go price play hunting. I think Austin Dillon and Kyle Larson, 40-1, really worth taking a look at. Almirola's a play. Kurt Busch, too. I'm looking for bigger prices. You got to find that aggressive driver who's well-positioned and can make some noise. It's going to be a fun week in NASCAR at Talladega. Always fun to be with you right here at bangthebook.com from Las Vegas. I'm Brian Blessing.